Hey everyone, John Capobianco here, and I'm exploring even more MCPs. And there's an explosion in MCPs, Model Context Protocol. I found one that's very particularly interesting and useful in the world of network automation and infrastructure in general. So we're looking at a bar graph here that I created just from a prompt. Can you get R1 interface statistics and then make a bar chart from it, please? And if I show you the logs, it went ahead and run the PyETS run show command MCP tool to get the interface statistics, and then passed it to this new quick chart open source tool. Now I found this as an MCP server, quick chart MCP server, and so far it was the easiest to integrate. I cloned the repository, I added it to my repository, and look at all of the things that we can get, all the different chart types. It's remarkable. And in terms of my code, right, I snapped in the quick start and I added the Docker to my build. So in my Docker startup in here somewhere is the build and run container code. And then in my client, I've added it to list and call the tools. So let's go ahead and bring up the server. Bring up the server and take a look at this. Now we're going to watch the logs live, and we'll do a little bit of graphing here, charting, let's say, quick charting. So we're building the containers, and then we're going to run those containers, and we're going to see all this in Docker. So the images are all starting to pile up. And then the containers will actually start to run. And what's interesting is, all right, sorry about that. Everything has come up. I just did a cut there because it was taking a long time for all these to come up. So really cool stuff. Everything's started. And here are all of the containers. All right. And you can see that only 2 of them are listening on ports. The Streamlit app and the LangGraph. Now let's take a look at the LangGraph's logs here. And I'm not going to go through all the logs, but we have this discovery process, discover the tools from the local containers through stdio. Now all the way at the bottom I have my latest tool discovery here. Okay, skipping field data, missing array items. I'll have to look into that for the quick chart. But for quick chart, we did discover generate chart and download chart. So now in all the discovered tools, we can see that we've got the generate and download chart that have been bound to the LLM. Now we can see this in the cloud view here. This is the graph, and we could run it through here, and I will run it through here so you can see exactly what happens when we ask this. But let's just go ahead and do it in Streamlit. And what we're going to try is, let's just see how it can visualize it. Could you get the R1 and R2 interface statistics and visualize them in chart format? Please use the data to decide how best to visualize the statistics from these 2 routers. Enter. All right. So what we can do is see here. It selected 31 tools of the 70 tools or so. But here's their score and their ranking. So run show command scored very high, and generate chart scored fairly high. So it actually selected the final tools as generate chart and run PyETS show command. All right. So it's gone ahead and it's going to run show interfaces on R1. And now there's R1's show interfaces. And it's probably going to go ahead and do it on R2 next. There's R2. So it has all the interfaces, and now it's going to try to visualize them in a chart format. It's probably already done, maybe. or pretty close to it. This chart compares, right? Pretty cool, right? Here's the bar chart visualizing the interface packet statistics for R1 and R2. And we can see the labels R1, Etho1, R1, R2, 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 and the in-out packet. Hey everyone, so in the spirit of this visualization of data, yes, I found a wonderful charts one. I found something, and I'm going to embarrass myself, Vega, drawings, visualizations of data, and I found an MCP for it, which I've actually tried to rewrite and change a little bit for my own purposes. But let's show you how far I've gotten, and I haven't quite got it to export this to a PNG locally, working on that. However, check this out. So let me first go to my prompt here. Give me 1 second. All right, so I said generate a Vega Lite bar chart comparing input-output packets on R1 Ethernet 01 using PyTS to gather the statistics. Show my JSON 2, please, along with the final image, because I'm trying to get it to generate an image, and I'm just working on that. But anyway, it did give me the specification. So even as it is, I can take the specification, plug it into their editor, and run it. And look at, I have this amazing number of packets, input-output rate for R1 ETH 01. Pretty cool, right? So next I'm going to see if I can get this PNG locally to export and save. I'm getting there. We'll be back soon with that. Okay, this is really exciting, and it was really mainly prompt engineering. I didn't have to do much with the code. It's just some prompt engineering. Sorry about the background there. So let me check this out. So I've mounted a volume. So within this container, I have this output directory. And if we were to look in the logs, there is a, Vegalite visualization data, and we're going to save that visualization data. All right, and in the container path, inside the container, ephemerally it's there. And I just mount that as a volume out to my folder. Check it out. As a VS Code or a PNG, I have this awesome counter from a simple prompt. So 2 new visualizations tools, a graphing tool, a charting tool, quick charts, where we can do all kinds of charts. And now this Vega data, Vegalite, Vegalite, whatever it's called. Pretty cool stuff. And we just plug these MCPs in. So now I can visualize anything from the network that I can extract through PyTS commands in just seconds dynamically, right? Really, really exciting progress. And I think a few people I know are really going to love this. Imagine this plugged into some of the other MCPs that are out there as well. I'm thinking about the AWS ones in particular, making graphs of your costs in AWS, for example, or charts or whatever. Pretty cool. All right, stay tuned for more.